Hey everybody, welcome to another YouTube Live with me, your acrylic diva. It is Wednesday at noon, so it's a YouTube Live. Welcome to the party. Today we're going to be talking about how to wrap an acrylic painting that you created so that it gets to your client or it gets back home to you from wherever it may travel, and how to safely do that so nothing sticks to the surface and everything looks delicious when you get it back, okay? So let's go right to the overhead camera, and I want to show you the tools you need and all the materials you're going to need and all that other good stuff. So you are looking at actually a panel that I created while I was at the Golden Foundation, and it's super glossy, so there's lots of glare on that surface. But you guys can see that this surface is pretty full of polymers and gels and stuff like that. And the thing about that is it can stick to the surface if you put wrapping materials directly down on the surface of the canvas or panel. With those gels, it could actually stick to the surface no matter what kind of material you use, and it can do something called ferrotyping. That's a good Scrabble word, right? Ferrotyping. So what that means is that anytime you've got something on the surface, like I'm going to use this paper towel as for instance, and you would never wrap a canvas with a paper towel on top of it ever, any kind of paint. But just as an example, this paper towel has texture on it, printed on it. If I were to put something on top of this canvas, even plastic or something else, any texture that's on that will offset to the acrylic paint and can leave an impression, and that is called ferrotyping. So you want to make sure that after you've done all this hard work on these canvases, you want to make sure that you don't inadvertently have something imprint to it. I did these canvases just a couple weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago, when I was in New York at the Golden Foundation, and I had to wrap them and ship them home pretty much right away. I mean, a couple days after I finished them. Now, acrylic paint, I'm going to talk to the camera for a little bit here. Acrylic paint has a number of different drying factors and drying stages that it goes through. So you can have a painting that you did that may be kind of thin paint that dries in a day, maybe 2 days, and it's absolutely dried all the way through. A painting like the one I just showed you that has several layers of paint, has lots of gels, has lots of mediums, there's lots of stuff going on there. This painting will be dry to the touch in a couple days, but it will definitely not be what we call cured for maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month, depending on the weather, how warm it is, and all this other kind of stuff. So because I had to wrap these right away and ship them back to my home studio, I wanted to make sure nothing touched the surface, number one. Number two, you want to make sure when you are when you're working on these paintings and they've got lots of surface gels and things like that, you want to make sure you give them plenty of time to dry and that you let the layers dry before you put another layer on top. Okay, so at some point I'll do a more in-depth video, a hangout on the drying processes and stuff like that, and do some demonstrations and show you some diagrams and stuff. But suffice to say that acrylic paint doesn't dry as fast as you think it does, okay? And especially like when I was at Golden just recently, it had been raining, it was kind of cold, so things are going to take a long time to dry. Don't be putting these babies in plastic the day after you paint them, okay? All right, that being said, let's go back to the overhead camera and take a look. Hey, Tisa. Hello, Tisa from APG Jamie. Okay, awesome. Hello, Jamie. Let's take a look at, I'm peeking at the chat box here every once in a while. But while I'm working on the camera, it's a little bit hard for me to see you guys. But if you have something to say, just pop it in there and I'll be checking the chat box frequently, okay? All right, so we've got this panel. This is actually a panel It's a wooden panel, but the same thing holds true for a canvas. So it doesn't really matter which one of these you're working on. But because I want to protect the surface, I want to show you the proper way to crate these babies and wrap them for shipping. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create what is called a collar. So I'm going to show you one that's in process here. Now this little sweetie pie has already got its collar all the way around, but I want to show you how I made that collar. So if you look right here on the edge, you can see that that cardboard is up above the surface of the canvas, and that's very important. You need that collar to come up above the surface of the canvas. So basically the way this collar is constructed is it's a piece of brown cardboard. I'm going to get a little bit more room here. It's a piece of corrugated cardboard that I cut from a box, and I have made a little barrier, and this is an important little piece of it. See this little barrier that I made? That is black plastic. So the way this goes is on the side of the canvas or the panel, I've got a lot of polymer. I'm going to tip it up so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I've got a lot of polymer. There's sticky stuff here from the paint. You know, this stuff right here, if I just put the brown cardboard down on it, when I go to take this brown cardboard off, it will stick to that and make a huge mess and make it really hard to get the collar off. So I always put a little piece of black plastic down first, and I just tape it all the way around with my blue tape. Then I put my collar down and I staple my collar. You can see here on the side I've got a staple there. I staple it right into the panel, or if I'm on canvas, I staple it right into the stretcher bars on the canvas. When you pull it out, it doesn't show anything. I'll show you the side here where I have pulled these guys out. This had several staples in it from the side here, and you can't see anything at all. Okay, so this little piece of it right here is very important. Make sure you get that there. Then put your collar down. Now once you get your collar stapled down, before I leave the collar, let me make sure that I tell you when you create that collar, make sure that it's flush to the back. I'm going to turn this over so you can see. It's flush to the back and it sticks up over the sides, okay? About a ½ inch, something like that. Staple it all the way around, okay? Just staple it down all the way around. And use clean cardboard. That goes without saying, right? Because you don't want to get anything on your painting. Your black plastic, where's my little edge? Your black plastic can have stuff on it. It doesn't matter because you don't care if the black plastic sticks to the cardboard. You just don't want the cardboard to stick to the canvas, okay? You with me there? All right, so once you have all of that done, you've got your little collar created. Then you're going to cut a piece of HDPE plastic. This is the clear version. It also comes in black, but I like to use the clear version when I'm doing this because then I can see if it's touching. If you have the black plastic on top of your canvas, you can't really see once you've wrapped it whether or not it's touching. Very important there. So I have this right here. Put that baby down like that. Put this down on top of it. Your collar is going above the edge of your canvas, so your canvas is not resting on the plastic. Pull this over and staple it. Oops, don't push your... See, that came loose because I don't have it stapled right now. Make sure that doesn't happen when you're doing it. Pull this over, staple it on this side, turn it around, pull it tight, and staple it here. And do the same thing on all 4 sides. Okay, then when you're done, your canvas will look like this. delicious and beautiful, and see nothing touching. The plastic is protecting it and it's not touching the surface of my canvas. Very important. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. It should. And the main thing that you're trying to do here is to prevent that plastic from touching anything touching the surface of your canvas. And those little collars right there, man, that makes all the difference in the world. Now, this is a little time consuming to do, but you know what? If you spend all that time working on the canvas and you don't have the time to wrap it properly, I gotta say, girlfriend, what is wrong? You know, because you need to do this the right way. And this is also a really good way to store your canvases with these little collars on them because nothing touches the surface. Nobody out there is storing their canvases on top of each other, right? Tell me you're not doing that. Okay, so you guys have your canvases vertical. I'm going like you guys can all see me, right? So you got your canvases vertical. I'm trying to show this to the camera. Vertical, not horizontal. Don't store canvases like this, okay? Because, you know, the weight of the canvas starts to bear down on them, and pretty soon the canvas at the bottom is just a mess. All right? So I hope that helps. That's a little bit of a technical thing about shipping and whatnot. The other thing I want to say about shipping, and I was just talking to my advanced class about this. I see some questions in the chat box. I'm going to get to you guys in just a second. The other thing I was talking about with the painting class yesterday is that when you guys are working on canvas or panel or paper or whatever it is, try to work in a uniform size. So what I mean is, if you're going to work on canvas and it's going to be 24 by 30, get 10 of them and work on them, you know, for a couple of reasons. First of all, you're saving money when you buy canvas in bulk like that. Secondly, all of your shipping materials, your wrapping, everything will go a lot quicker and a lot faster if everything's the same size. Storage is going to be a lot easier. You can just slip those babies in next to each other. They're all the same size, you know, ding, ding, ding. And then fourthly or fifthly, I forget, you know what happens when you start working all on the same size and you do a whole series on the same size? They start to have a little bit of synergy. So if you go and look at my website, if you go look at acrylicdiva.com, you're going to see, you know, 30 or 40 paintings that are all 24 by 24 or 12 by 12 or, you know, 22 by 30 or something. There's going to be 20 that size, because once I get on a roll with an image or a size or a particular design motif, I take that and I just go to the next piece of paper, the next canvas, the same size, and I just start moving those elements around. And that one talks to that one, and that one talks to that one, and pretty soon I've got a series of, you know, 20 pieces that hang together. They have continuity, they have some synergy going. It's a good thing, okay? So that same size thing will help you out in a number of different ways, all right? Okay, let's go to the chat box and see what we got. Hello from Petaluma. Hi, Lisa. How you doing? Okay, Jamie wants to know, this is just so smart. Why haven't I ever seen this before? One day may I share this info in one of my videos? Sure, go ahead. Share it all. The more the merrier. Yeah, Lisa, Golden does. Mike Townsend did a really nice wrapping video on the Golden website. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, this isn't new information, you guys. This has been out there for a long time. Professional artists that are wrapping paintings and shipping them all over the place, you know, they're doing this kind of stuff. But I wanted to share it with you because it was right on my mind, having just come back from Golden and having to ship a whole lot of stuff. You know, it was right here. And I had some of these little babies that just came back from FedEx, you know, from Golden. I had them right in front of me and I thought, hey, I'm going to show you guys how to do this. So yeah, you do it slightly differently, Lisa. Tell me how you do it differently. I'd be curious to know, because I'm always looking to improve my methods. And if I can do it easier, faster, cheaper, I'm all about that. I do have to tell you that doing the collar and putting the black plastic and then the collar and then the plastic and everything, it's time consuming. It really is. If I could figure out a way to take the cardboard collar and line it, or maybe wrap it in black plastic or something and then put it on the canvas, that would help, because I'm basically doing twice the amount of work when I put that collar down. I put the black plastic down, then I put the collar down, you know. But you got to do it, okay? All right. So let me know, Lisa, about how you're doing it differently. I'd like to know. Okay. Next up, I have some announcements. If you do, all right. Have a fabulous holiday wherever you may be, even if you're not in the United States. You know, hug your pals, kiss your family, say hello to your neighbors. You know, it's all about the love, people. It's all about the love and the pie. Okay? All right. I'm going to see you next week. And Frida, be on the lookout for some stuff coming your way. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. As always, it's my pleasure to hang out with you for a few minutes. I'll be seeing you next week on YouTube Live. And join me in Creative Flow Live next week, too, because we're going to hang out and do some cool painting. All right? Mwah! Happy Thanksgiving, wherever you may be, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Oh, what do I always say? Keep painting. Bye.